Hello again, and welcome to Astropreneur. My name is Liam, and tonight we have some interesting guests for you. But before we get into it and talking with our guests, I want to just give you my normal opening spiel. So this channel is about introducing you to new projects that are going on, and introducing to printers, and introducing you also to printer manufacturers. But tonight we don't have a printer manufacturer because we actually have someone who's working on a really cool project, and we're going to start talking about it in a moment. But before we get going, I want to please remember that if you're online, please click on the like and subscribe and the thumbs up or whatever. Those thumbs up actually make a big difference in our ratings. So please thumbs up on Facebook and on YouTube. It all helps. And please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, please post those questions in the chat. We will get to them later on in the conversation. I first want to cover about the project with our guests. So we will get to your questions. So please post them. If you want to donate to the channel, please donate through my PayPal. My PayPal is right here. To go and donate to the PayPal, it helps support my page. Or if you just want to buy me a cup of coffee, you can go to this link and you can buy me a coffee. So our guest tonight is actually Ciaran, Irvine, and Daniel Hubbard, who are actually working on a project to 3D print the largest 3D print in the world, and to get it to Guinness Book of Records. And it's not just for that; it's to do it to represent all of the workers in the emergency services that have been working throughout this COVID pandemic that we've been dealing with, and to actually give recognition to them. So, without any further ado, I'd like to welcome in our guests. Hey, Daniel, here, Ciaran, how are you?
How's it going?
Very good.
Doing pretty good.
And in case you're wondering, the guy over here with the weird accent is actually from the north of Ireland. So let's start with Ciaran. Listen, give us a quick introduction about yourself and where you're from and so on.
Hey, I'm Ciaran, and I'm a keen 3D printing enthusiast. I'm based here in Derry in Northern Ireland. I've been 3D printing. My first project was going back 8 years ago, and I only purchased my first 3D printer about 3.5 years ago now. So over the last few years, I've been learning a lot, and I've been involved in some really, really good 3D printing projects. But this one is one I'm really looking forward to, and I can't wait to get started. We've got a good team on board, and I'm looking forward to it.
And Daniel?
Well, my name is Daniel Hubbard. You guys probably see me on here out on Wednesday. I'm actually based out of Florida. I'm furloughed right now with my job. But in my past, I've worked at digital. Also done a project.
We're actually losing you, Daniel. Your audio. We're losing your audio a little bit.
That'll be better.
Let's see. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, we lost a little bit. So.
Okay. Well, I'm from Florida. I actually work at Disney. I'm furloughed at the moment. I actually am just stay-at-home dad.
Cool.
My first 3D printer was an M3D, little tiny cube. From there, I've moved up and moved up.
Cool. So, how many printers do you have today, Ciaran?
I have 13.
13. An unlucky number.
You're right, it's unlucky.
Lucky for some. And Daniel?
I have a total of 6.
6. Okay. So what do you work at, Ciaran?
I work in I'm an equipment specialist at Seagate Technology.
Oh, okay.
So, obviously, I've been on there now for 15 years. So I've seen a lot of from a manufacturing side and how 3D printing can be used. You know, as cost-saving projects and making products better. You know, we have many industries. We have products failing every day, and I've seen it firsthand how it can be used. This technology can be used within manufacturing to save money and reduce costs and make better products so they don't fail again.
So I'll come to you again. I'm going to ask you the same question in a moment, Daniel. But so, Ciaran, why 3D printing? Why did you get into 3D printing?
Going back 8 years ago, I was doing an ONC in mechanical engineering at the Northwest Regional College here, and I designed a rechargeable device. It was movement makes watts, like a eco-friendly charger. But all the components in it were all 3D printed. And it started off actually a wee tiny small box and had holes drilled in the side of it where I didn't get my dimensions right. They started off with in SolidWorks where I was getting my drawings wrong, but I had developed it and a good wee product. I didn't get it to release it or anything, but it was a good project to work on, and it's something that inspired me to go on with 3D printing and buy machines myself. A lot of the work I've done for Seagate, we use service contractors. We work with the likes of Carbon, Mark IV, Asoprint, based in Russia. So we had a lot of work done with companies external. So but now since I bought my own machines, I'm learning a lot of headaches.
And Daniel, what got you into 3D printing?
Making parts for my kids.
Okay.
My kids, they break every. So it was more the fact that instead of going out and buying replacement parts for toy doll aspect, it's much easier and it's much more satisfying just printing one, but not just one, printing like 5 more of them. They're going to break it again.
Yeah. Yeah, as you can imagine, I got into mine from astronomy because I got into 3D printing for making parts for my telescopes, mods, add-ons to mount different things like Raspberry Pis and Finder scopes and all this kind of stuff. That's how I got into 3D printing myself. So there's always a key reason why we got in there, and the problem is there's no way to get out. Is the problem.
It's addictive, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, and it grows and it grows and it grows. So, tell me, like, I know you, Daniel, you do mostly for printing for your family. I believe a lot of it is where you got started. What other, between the two of you, what other community projects have you been involved with regards to 3D printing? Because you seem to be very, for what you do, seems to be a lot of it is very community orientated.
Yeah, well, for myself, I have a wee business where I call it a business, and it's not really, I don't really make any money off it. I go out to the schools and bring my printers into the classrooms and teach the children about 3D printing. And it's something that I really enjoy. I do shift work through my job in Seagate, so on my days off, I would spend some time in schools doing some presentations and stuff. I really enjoy it, to be honest. It's some of the ideas that the children come up with is really, really good. I love it.
Yeah. And Daniel?
Well, for me, it's moved into making those memories. So, like, unfortunately, the lithos have been printed in my family all the time.
Yeah.
I have what message me on Facebook and say, hey, I really need this part. I print them out for them. I stopped charging. Like, it's more the fact that they always come. I will say from the time that I print parts for my friends and stuff like that, every single one of them now has acquired a 3D printer, and I'm usually over there constantly fixing their 3D printers and taking them out to work and showing them on, get the eye level and watch that first layer go down and then walk.
That man never stopped.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, 3D printing and painting, Jerry, he has a group in 3D printing and painting. I don't know if you know him. I hang out with Jerry a lot, and Jerry is my PR guy because he comes on and he advertises all of my live streams. He's fantastic. Thanks, Jerry. Thumbs up.
His work is amazing. I really enjoy following his page. His work's very good. Yeah.
And how about lithophane? Seeing as Matt is just coming to say hi. Matt does amazing lithophanes. If you haven't checked him out, he does fantastic lithophanes. I call Matt the lithophane king.
Well, I can't wait to see what he pulls out in the Laban project, because he has a special going on right now. He's going to use top 3 people for license. So I'd be really honest. The thing that he's going to create is probably going to blow everybody up.
Yeah, he's really good. He
He's good at them.
and it's amazing that he's only printing 9 months, and that's the type of quality he's getting. So it's been fantastic. Oh, by the way, Rob, yeah, I love my rockets too.
Rob's a very skilled man. Hey, Rob's a good guy.
So, tell me a little bit more. Tell me about this project. How did this idea come about? This, like, first of all, let's tell everybody. Why don't one of you tell everybody what this project is? First of all,
Go for it, Daniel.
he's pointing at you.
Go for it, Daniel. Go ahead. You're the man.
He's muted, so it's up to you.
All right. Sorry. So, going back now, you're looking probably 5 months ago now. I came across Daniel put a post up on the page, and it was like create the world record. And because I do the educational side of things and back here home, I was actually looking into breaking the world record with children, the amount of children in a workshop. And a couple of days after, I just seen Daniel's comments on the page, so I clicked on that straight away, just like many other people did, and I just started messaging him straight away. And since then, myself and Daniel have been on the phone every single day. It's been really good. Hey, although I haven't met him in person yet, but we've been on the phone every day and working on this project. He's come up with some really good ideas, and he never stops that, man. Every day he's got machines stripped apart, and he's come up with new, even better ideas. So it's good to work along with him in the project. And it's, as I say, everybody else is on board now. We have 135 members from 24 different countries. I think there might be a few different. There's. I was just going through it this evening there. I think there might be a few more countries on board, and everybody's going to break the record together for the world's largest 3D printed sculpture.
So this is aimed at being a community event, because a lot of the other large 3D prints that are out there have generally been done by companies or some sort of link with a company doing all the work. So you want just end users like everybody who's watching here to be involved and to help print parts. So how are you going to do that? And this is going to be one big sculpture. So how are you going to go about this? Well, how is it going to happen? What's your ideas?
You want to go on, Daniel?
My turn. So that is a great question. So we're using this great program. It's called Bond. What it does is it actually breaks up your huge model into multiple pieces. You can put in a certain dimension and have everybody print a certain dimension to reach the volume that we want. I will like to say at this moment in time, we don't have an exact number on how big this is. We do know how much the old record is. We do know how much we put in. We don't know if anybody else put in for anything bigger, if we need to rescale it, or so on and so on.
Did you see the comment?
There we go.
No,
there we go.
The comment about that Jerry posted.
Yeah, if we get 10 likes, Dan gets a new mic. That would be nice. I would like my office back. Right now, due to COVID, I actually had to move in to a relative's house, and I'm stuck in a 2-bedroom, 1 bath with 6 people. But needless to say, my office will be back up and running. That we're starting to get a little bit on track with the whole COVID number, which leads me to my next reason why we decided on the project is, yes, because nurses, they risk their lives day in, day out for all of them. So what better way not to, give back to them and honor them by using them as a model for our project.
Yeah. So everyone, give a thumbs up and give a like wherever you are, and subscribe, please. It helps the channel, and maybe we can encourage Daniel to get a new microphone. That's funny. Sorry, that's it. Okay, so so tell us a little bit more about the project. Like you said, it's about the biggest, largest sculpture, right? What is it going to be? Where is it going to be? What is like? I know you probably can't give us how big it's going to be, really, because it's supposed to be a secret until it's done. Otherwise, somebody else can steal your thunder, right? But give us some ideas about the size and the scale and what the overall project is going to encompass.
Well, first of all, the current record is at 3.62 meters. I'm nearly sure it's at 3.62 meters. But as you said, Liam, we're not too sure. We're waiting on word back from the Guinness World Records to see if there's any other applications in it at present. So once we get this information, we will be able to have more plans, and we'll be able to decide then on the final design. How big we're going to go. Obviously, it's going to be outdoors, so we need it to be weather resistant. There's a lot of logistics involved in the project. You think the different countries, the current pricing of shipping at the minute is through the roof, as we spoke about earlier. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of things going on in the background to make it a success. But as a community and as a group of people together, we will make it a success. And there's everybody's coming on. We have about, I'm looking here on tonight, we have 114 printers registered. 114 printers registered. There's 135 people in the group. I still believe there's probably around 35 people here in the group that haven't put on information yet. So we plan to get rid of them within the next few weeks. Hopefully, I've been saying that for a long time now, haven't I? But we want to try and get the people so we can get new people in the group. All our community members, there's plenty of other people out there who would love to be part of the project as well. So once we get our numbers and together, we have a lot of highly skilled individuals on the team.
So if people are interested in getting involved, right, as it is today, oh, by the way, guys, I only see one thumbs up. We need more. So like, subscribe, thumbs up. Come on, guys. Otherwise, Daniel doesn't get his new microphone. So how do people get involved in this? Like, okay, well, it's going to be a sculpture. Are you going to say what is the sculpture, first of all? Yeah,
the sculpture is going to be a nurse. I recently purchased a Einscan Pro 2X Plus handheld scanner.
Okay. So
I had the nurse come down to my office and I scanned her for a few hours. It actually took me, and on a couple of different occasions I had my first scanner was actually faulty. So once I got a new one, I got a lot better data. But I used the scanner to scan the nurse, and we have a guy on board called Luke who's going to work on the sculpting and clean it up for us. He's part of the team as well, and we've been working with filament suppliers and lots of other things as well. So if anybody wants to get involved in the project, then simply send myself or Daniel a page or a message, and we'll get back to them. We don't want to have too many people on board. No, don't get me wrong. The more people we have on board, the better. But it makes logistics a lot harder in the current circumstances with regards shipping costs. It's going to have a massive effect on it. So we would like we have the GoFundMe set up. We're thinking that some of the group members have come up with some good ideas, and we'll work on them to try and raise funds. We currently have just over £700 there at the minute. I would like to, before we start shipping out filament to all our group members, I would like to be in the region of 3,000. So we have a good bit to go here at the minute. But sure, as a team, we can come up with some good ideas. There's that many applications 3D printing can be used on. So I'm sure we can come up with some ideas to raise some funds between us.
So what about printer manufacturer, or not printer manufacturer? Well, let's start with printer manufacturers. Have any printer manufacturers come forward, or have you worked with any of them and they're considering a proposal of working with you and providing printers to speed up the production of this?
Daniel spoke with Creality. And I've actually reached out to Joseph Persa, but he hasn't seen my message yet. I need to send him an email. Maybe it would be good to get some of the, because they're obviously Joseph does a lot for the community as well. His printers are amazing. They're probably the best out there, So it's good to, and without manufacturers reducing the price and costs for printers, then we don't get more people involved in the technology, and that's why there's been a massive increase in the last few years. So without the likes of these guys being on board and making printers cost effective for people to buy, then we wouldn't be able to have our online community as we have.
Okay, and what about filament manufacturers? Have you been in touch with any of them that are willing to step up to and provide materials? And if so, like, I don't know if you're able to say who it is if you do have somebody, but
Yes.
what you have, what steps in that direction have you taken to try and minimize the amount of costs and or to try and unify the supply so you always get everybody gets the same color material, the same quality material, the same material type, like all PETG or all ABS or all PLA, but probably not PLA because it's going to be outside. But what have you done to try and make that happen so far?
So we reached out to filament suppliers, and we spoke to some community members in the group, and we had some discussions about what material we'd like to use. Obviously, PLA is a lot easier to create parts with, but if we're going to have our statue outside, we want it to withstand the weather and the elements that it's going to be against. So we decided to use PETG, and obviously because it's going to be a large sculpture and a lot of plastic being used, we thought as a part of the project it would be great to have it recycled. So I was speaking with Yordi. Yordi is obviously well in the community, and Yordi put us on to Richard at Greengate. They're based in New York, I think. They have recycled PETG. So we spoke with Richard, and he's going to help us out a bit. So we still have to finalize the shipping locations so we can get some sort of value and cost from that side of things.
Okay, so you haven't nailed down a particular supplier or anything yet, but it's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress, but we like the idea of a recycled material. To be honest, Liam,
yeah,
that's where we want to go down.
And like this is going to be a lot of filament, right? It's a lot of part. If it's going to be a couple of meters tall, right? And for the Americans, that's like 3 feet to the meter. No, but it's going to be tall. It's going to be a big print. It's going to be heavy, right? So how are you going to handle and deal with weight of it? Like you can't do a 10% infill when a thing is 12 or 14 feet tall.
Yes, well, we're looking into different avenues for manufacturing. We're looking into just creating a shell structure that'll interconnect with dials, interlock, using, as Daniel mentioned, the looping software. Yordi is a great guy. A very knowledgeable guy, so he is.
Okay, so what is your timeline for this? Like when do you hope to? First of all, I know you said earlier on you're waiting on Guinness to come back to you to give you an idea of what applications are already in there for size and so on, and what other requirements they have around it. Like, can you use metal support structure, or does it have to be 100% plastic, or can it be, or what? Can it be contained in a glass box or whatever?
Yes, there's loads of things we're looking at, Liam, and that's the thing. Can we put carbon fiber rods down through it? Can we put steel rods down through it? Can we fill it with resin? There's lots of avenues, but the main thing is that we make the right decisions in the design. And I do honestly think that an enclosure with nice lighting underneath it would actually look really good, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a funny comment. You replace the last E with an O, you're closer. But so how long is this going to be out there? Is it going to be set up, put on display, Guinness has come out, they get out their tape measure, they measure from top to bottom, and then what? What is the goal?
Do you want to go with Daniel and try that? Do you want to see if your mic's working better?
We've only got 2 likes. It needs a few more.
it might be working a little bit better. We don't know. Is that a little bit better?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's try.
Okay. All right. So we're actually going to set it up at the bridge over in Ireland, where Ciaran.
Okay, we missed all of that. Yeah, Ciaran,
We're setting it up at the Peace Bridge here in Derry.
okay.
It's Edmonton Square. It's a bridge. I'm not too sure how long it's been up there now, but it's a really beautiful setting. And what the plan is that it's going to be out in the front of the offices for a while, for a few months, and then eventually we are going to get it moved there, creating like a cafeteria area in the back, with external seating. And they're going to have a statue in the middle of it, so it's overlooking the River Foyle. It's really nice.
Okay, and how long is the goal to have it there, like on display? Or like, is it going to be there for just for those few months, or is it going to be there for 2 years, 5 years? What?
Well, Liam, it's about how if we get the design right, I would like it to be there for 20 years. So if it's that's the plans. We all make the right decisions, and there's a lot, as I keep mentioning, there's a lot of smart guys in the group who come up with very good ideas, and we're working together to make sure that it doesn't fall down after a week. We have all this planned, and it falls down.
So you need liability insurance then? Well, you probably will, because it's going to be on public display, and if it falls over on someone, you're going to have to find some way of paying those hospital bills.
You've just got us on the more fees there, Liam.
I'm making up money you have to spend.
Okay, we'll take that part out.
So it's going to be there as long as it's going to be there, and as long as you can keep it there.
Yes, there has been, Liam. There has been some ideas where we've actually thought about creating the model where we can take it back down again and actually transport it to different countries. From all the different other group members. But at the minute, I think for a first project, we would like to just keep it here, based in Derry. But we have all our ideas with all our projects, so it wouldn't rule all our ideas out. They have something to transport between different countries.
So you have plans to do other projects. Any teasers about what those other projects may be, or is it just saying we want to do more, we don't know what's coming, but we want to get there at some point?
No, there's some. We have some ideas. There's a local company that came to me. Obviously they've seen the project that's been based here in Derry, and they've contacted me to create another sculpture, but they actually wanted to float on the River Foyle.
Okay.
So it's going to be
Giant benchy.
We'll wait and see. But it'll be interesting. We want to see how Liam. There's a lot of things we're going to learn together. Everybody that's in the group. There's this is a project that I've never been involved in, so I'm learning a lot every day, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm sitting here in the evenings, chatting to guys from all around the world that I've never met before, and we're just hanging out at times, going on our private room. Some evenings there, as we mentioned earlier, there's 5 or 6 of us sitting, chatting, building printers, fixing, and we're all learning off each other. So it's really a good project we work on. It's a good community, and it's something that hopefully we can develop and have everybody on board. There's still some work to be done to get new members on board, but and they raise some more money. But I'm sure we'll get there. As I say, time frame, Liam, you also mentioned the time frame. I would love to have it around St. Patrick's Day in Ireland, somewhere around that time frame.
Yeah.
It'd be very good. I would love to have a lot of nurses down from the hospital. Would love to have somebody singing or something there. I want to make it an occasion, and there's Daniel's coming over from America for hopefully a month. We're going to spend a lot of time down in my office, building and assembling it. And I think that Yardy was speaking the other night. Maybe he potentially could come over. There's a few other guys in the group that are interested, so it'd be good to meet up with guys in person after all the work's been done. So it's
a lot of live streaming. We're hoping to live stream a majority of the build, as well as a lot of your guys' prints. that's why being a part of our group is much so how much you can produce, because we want to show you off. We want to make you, you know, the best of the best. I will support anybody that I'm friends with. If you post something, I'm going to repost it, or I'm going to leave a comment. I mean, to be truly honest, I believe in all of you. All of you are great individuals. I mean, like, I didn't know how many of you out there were like engineers. Half of you should have an engineer's degree with half of the stuff that you have created and put out. We have a few members what posted up a few pictures of the stuff that they created. You got Mark. He did a wonderful job. Nico, those cars, that motorcycle, beautiful. And then I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he actually invented a nice little mud cover for the bike, which I will be probably calling you later and asking you for that. You know how much water gets all over my back from my bicycle when I go for a ride? Like, you're going to save my life. You really are.
I think we've lost Liam. Yeah.
I think we did too.
And your bike's actually working now.
I know!
Oh,
but to be truly honest, I mean, like, all of you guys are great. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. When it comes down to it, we're gonna produce the world's largest 3D human print, and who not better to print it for than to honor the nurses day in and day out. I mean, I per se have dealt with COVID. Ciaran is actually getting off quarantine right now from COVID, so we know the struggles for everybody that's out there, you know, dealing with this issue. But you also got to look at from the other end of the spectrum. Those people, we're just one person. We deal with it once. They see it day in and day out and day in. But I will say thank you for tuning into the video tonight. I do have a few things that I will be giving away to you guys, but unfortunately we have to wait for Liam to jump back in here so we can actually read you guys' chat. So give us a few moments.
and we'll see if it comes back on.
Yeah. His internet might have dropped. I know there was a bad snow blizzard up in Michigan here coming soon. Actually, it's been dropping down to really cold up there, which anybody on, you know, the other side of the world, I'm sorry. I live in Florida. I know you guys hear that before, but I mean, it doesn't but drop below maybe 40 degrees. So I'm always warm.
Oh, definitely. I'm not warm at the minute. It's freezing. Well, it's not freezing. It's cold enough this time of year. I haven't left the house in the last 2 weeks, so it's not so bad. Is this actually still going live, or are we off?
No, it's still live. Still live.
You're
But Ciaran, tell me about your helmet.
The helmet?
Come down with it, right?
Hey, it's not around now. It's starting to get there now.
That is starting to get there. How many parts in total?
I think there are actually maybe 29 parts.
29 parts?
29 parts now. But look at the walls, Daniel. I think they're only like 6 mil walls.
Yeah.
No, and it's actually strong. Like. It's actually decent. You know, I reckon if you could go 20 mil walls.
And then you had Val. Val, did you see how many of his Iron Man suits? That was amazing.
I've seen it. Excellent work.
It was like he was teasing right over the shoulder. I don't get it.
I've seen it. I've seen that guy today as well. He sells them full time. I think just makes the suits and sells them.
That's amazing.
Oh, he's highly skilled. I seen that car. That car was amazing that Nico done.
Yeah.
Was it Bentley, wasn't it?
I think it was a Maserati.
Maserati.
I think so. I'm not 100% on it. I only got to see it for a blip of a second, but
Oh, it was beautiful, anyway.
yeah, no, understatement. You gonna message him?
Oh man, go ahead, go you message him, see. I'll see here if it's actually.
Kind of want to put music on for you guys, but unfortunately, due to YouTube restrictions, if you hear any type of background music, you will it'll drop the video.
It's still live anyway. I just checked it.
Okay, cool. No, it is live. So tell me more about your 3D printing at the college.
At the college?
Yeah.
For the Waynes with the children?
Yeah.
Nothing's happened since COVID, Daniel.
Really?
So it's been really hard. Like, there's a school, a local school that my two children go to. I was speaking with the teachers a few weeks ago, and she said, "Look, we're really keen to get you back in again. But no, I want to go on and show them the scanner, to get them to bring in some toys and scan some objects in there for them. It'll be really good."
What units are they using again?
Sorry?
What are the units they're using again?
They're just using, in the school, they're just using the XYZ printers.
Okay.
Really old, to be honest. It was my girl's first printer as well, was an XYZ. But they went on, they won. Whenever my first lesson plan was taught to them, and they went on, they won a STEM award in the end of the year. And for a 3D printing project that they worked on, and we designed it, they made on Tinkercad themselves. So it was really exciting, for in the space of a year for a school that weren't involved in the printing. They get involved and they see the benefits straight away. Some of the other
schools, we got 12 people in here. So I mean, you guys have to give me like 30 seconds to look over at a different screen, because we can't read your chat on this screen. That actually has to be done by the user. So I'm going to ask a question. How long has... I'm going to ask a question, and I'm going to be giving away a small do-it-yourself Christmas tree. It's a nice Adreno board set. Free shipping. Get it to you whenever. All you have to do is contact me on Facebook, Daniel Hubbard, or you can actually contact Ciaran. How long has Ciaran been printing for?
Keep going until I went down. He's on his way. How long have I been printing for?
Yeah,
how long have I been crying for? How many times have I spent crying in the house?
Yeah. How long has Ciaran been going? Let me see that first layer.
Is that good? Is that good?
I'm sorry, guys. My internet went down. It's snowing up here, so stuff happens. I'm sorry, guys.
Daniel's mic worked really well there.
Wow, so his mic works when I'm not around.
Yeah, it's working. Okay.
Okay, sorry about that. Normally my internet goes down at least once a day, but for some reason it decided to go down tonight. I've only ever had it on the stream.
Can you put Mark's answer up on the screen real quick?
Mark, 8 years for what?
That's how long Ciaran's been printing. Mark, get a hold of me. I will send that out to you tomorrow. While you were
away there, Liam, he done a wee draw just to try and keep people occupied.
Oh,
while you were away.
So I'm actually giving stuff away. Actually, the next thing I'm gonna give away is a small 32 in one little kit, great for 3D printing. Got every single head you need in there. Also comes with a nice pair of tweezers. This question, let me think about it for 2 seconds. All right. What is the name of our group? Put it in the chat.
I posted the link earlier on. So it's out there, guys. If you look back through the comments, you might see it, but I did post it on the screen earlier on. And We'll give people a few moments to respond.
Very close, Jerry. There's two other words.
Global 3D print. Rob, he's in the group and he still didn't get it fully right.
Yeah, what?
Well, there's no hope if the members of the group don't get it right.
We might not be the best spellers, but our prints come out really good.
So what we'll do, since nobody's posted the right answer, are you ready? Oh, that was it. I hope you were looking.
Oh, no. I think we got one in there.
I give a hint. Jerry from Global 3D Printing Project. Yeah.
That's it.
There we go.
Congratulations, Jerry.
Get a hold of me. I'll get that out to you, Las Vegas, as quick as possible, man. But the last thing I am going to give away, I have a .bit BMG extruder.
Can I enter?
You can enter. I was gonna make this one fair to where nobody knows it because my mic was breaking up the whole time. So I mean,
go on. What's the question?
All right. Where do I work?
Oh, I heard you, but just about. So
just about. This is a trick question here now. I'm trying not to cheat, Rob.
So where does Daniel work?
But as we go on, let's talk more about the project because you guys are gonna ponder this one for a second, I think.
Yeah, well, if you want to reach out to Daniel, you can find him on Facebook, as Daniel Hubbard. So you can find him out there on Facebook. Oh,
dang, that was quick.
Oh, we got two actually. So which one? Actually, Shane was first. Or no, he wasn't. Was he? Yeah, no, he wasn't. He was first. BC Kid.
He was first. Get a hold of me on Facebook, man. I'll get that out to you tomorrow.
I'm sorry, guys. He was. You got a smart-ass answer.
At home. No, as of right now, yes. I've been furloughed since March 13th, 2020. Yeah. So for this almost year, I actually have been working from home, which is really nice. But, man, I miss those times when my kids used to go to school or I used to go out and actually have conversations with adults. Those are very, very much so missed.
So tell me, okay, so let's get back into the project. And I'm sorry for the disruption, but since Daniel was giving stuff away, all is good. Freebies are always good. Who wants me talking when you get freebies? So tell us more about this project then. So how are you going to handle the logistics of moving all of these parts? I'm assuming something so big, and given the size of the majority of people's printers, not everybody has really large print beds. Given the size of the majority of people's printers, how are you going to slice it up, first of all, so it fits in everyone's print bed? Like, are you going to send somebody an STL of a toe and they print the toe?
Could be.
Yeah, it basically it is going to go down to that. So when it comes down to our furthest people away, unfortunately, probably won't get as big of a piece as somebody very close to Ireland. Obviously, we're going to try to utilize what we can utilize as close as possible to make it the most cost effective as we can, because we don't want a 200 by 200 by 300 piece getting shipped from, South Africa all the way to Ireland, because then the shipping cost on it would be over, let's say, 230 pounds due to the weight, due to the size, due to the box. So when it comes down to sending out each individual part, unfortunately, as of right now, the further you are away, you're still going to be getting a nice little chunk, but it might only be 20 millimeters, 30 millimeters high to fit in a $5 Fit Anywhere box to get shipped all the way across from UPS or even much so USPS.
So you're being asked a question there. Mark is saying he's not on Facebook. Do you have email or Discord where he can reach you?
Yeah, a human of mankind at gmail.com.
You got that, Mark? If not, reach out to me. You can reach out to me later on.
That's a good idea.
Or if not, Daniel, and we can get you an email. But a human of mankind at gmail.com. One word, I assume.
Correct.
Okay. So you're going to split it up. You're going to divide it up. How are you going to know how to put it back together?
So
before we get to that, actually, how are you going to know about dimensional accuracy of the parts that are printed so what you get will actually fit together, first of all?
You want to go ahead, Ciaran?
No, go ahead. Liam,
Okay.
we spoke about that the other day.
Yeah, we did. You and I did, but we have people watching.
So there's what we plan to do is get everybody in the group to calibrate their e-steps and making sure everything's in sync. So we have a lot of printers. Then it'll reduce the variation of the sizes, and that'll obviously there will be still some wee pieces here and there that we have to fix, but hopefully that will resolve a lot of issues if we have everybody calibrated right. And as Liam, you came up with a good idea the last day on the group. You said about creating an Excel document where we can have everybody can go on and put on their data with their e-steps, and then it'll tell them how to, obviously the processes we use to calibrate our e-steps for different printers, and that'll help towards it.
Like a video of showing them how to do X, Y, Z, and E to make sure they're extruding correctly. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got dimensional accuracy down. I'm assuming you're going to ask people to do test prints to measure the dimensional accuracy of what they're creating and show you using either micrometers, depending on what you're printing, or a Werner calipers or something to show precisely what the dimensions of the part are. Obviously, you have to have some tolerance of leeway there. Otherwise, you're if everything fits tight and perfect, and then it's not, and then someone prints something and there's extrusions a small bit too much, or they're off in one axis or whatever, then you'll either have to sand like crazy to get them to fit, or something will have to be done to make everything come together. So
I had to do some of that there for the last couple of days.
yeah, you're going to end up with that, and that actually brings up another question. But let's come back to that in a moment. So, how are you going to handle that? On the day of assembly, how are you going to handle inconsistencies that will show up? Because this is not going to be, I'm going to start it in the morning, and I'm going to go home at lunchtime and be done. This is probably going to be a couple of days printing.
Well, Daniel's going to be here for a month before it. So Daniel's planning to be here, so that's a big part of it. We're going to do it together, so that's why we've been speaking every day, discussing it and discussing with all our group members or couple ideas.
So when the parts get sent out to the end user, every single part is going to be categorized before it's sent out to the end user. So in a hypothetical situation, we get somebody what still hasn't sent their piece in, or even much so did send their piece in, and it looks halfway decent, but we need to go back in and print it. Everything's going to be categorized. Everything's going to have a number catalog. When you're shipping it back to us, it's going to be addressed to us via also your ID number. Your ID number is what we're going to be giving you. Every single part's going to have the same exact ID number. So when we get it back, we know exactly where it's going, exactly what spot it's going into. We just pull it out of the box. We look up in the computer to see how much it needs to be, measure it, make sure that it's in perfect quality, put it back in its box, ready for assembly.
And a 14-foot, I'm assuming a 14-foot tall or 15-foot tall part or more, an assembly, are you going to make it solid all the way through, or is it just going to be to build the outer shell of it and actually make it hollow in the center? Or what are your thoughts and plans around there? I don't want you to reveal too many secrets. It's all about size, not volume, right? So are you going to be doing more of a shell build then, or what is the goal?
That comes down to the response we get back from Guinness Book of World Records. If Guinness Book of World Records tells us that it has to be 100% infill all the way up, we're going 100% infill all the way up. Me per se, I would like to do a cascading infill starting at a heavy deep at the bottom and lightening up by the top. So that way it will be more structurally sound and we won't have to worry about, okay, if the wind blows on top, how much is the base going to sit there and, curl in comparison to if we keep it easy at the top, heavy at the bottom, it's automatically going to be like that chest piece. If we have to add a weight in the bottom, if we have to put rods through the center, like Ciaran was talking about, it really all comes down to the response we get back from Guinness Book of World Records.
Okay.
Because for all we know, it needs to be 100% infill with no extra rods or anything. Then we have to decide on how we're going to encase it and strap something around its waist so it will never fall over.
Yeah, well, okay. So 100% infill is a lot of material. It's an obscene amount of material.
It's crazy. I don't believe there's any need for that. I think, I hope that they can agree with a shell.
Yeah, because if it's actually if it's physical size, then the infill levels don't matter to them. Yeah. If it's volume of material used, like that's obviously going to change dramatically the amount of materials needed. You're going to go from needing 200 spools or 400 spools or whatever it is to needing 5,000 spools because it's 100% infill. So, so one, he's recommending filling it with spray foam on the inside to make it to give it strength. Maybe that's what it'll come down to. It depends on what they allow.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Jerry, we need to get you on board, Jerry. We need to get you on board.
Jerry, you're going to be recruited.
I said to him, he's really busy at the time when I messaged him. To be honest, he said he was really busy, but it would be good to get him on board because he's a good man. He's a great man. Everybody listens to him in the community.
Yeah.
And we want him to be part of the project. If you would like to come on board.
So what is the process like to get involved with a project with Guinness Book of Records to try and get onto to be named on Guinness Book of Records? And like what's involved on from your point of view that you have to do to get involved in and registering with them and so on with Guinnesses?
So Liam, I put the application on and I put it on as a joint application with myself and Daniel and the Global 3D Print Project members. And then they left the paragraph open, and I said that I would like is there a way that we can get everybody's name that's a part of the project on the official letter, or do we have to have it like the global 3D Print Project team have broken the Guinness World Record?
Mm-hmm.
So we're still waiting on that. It would be great to have everybody's individual name involved on it. As again, going back to being a community project, it's not about me or it's not about Daniel. I'm not interested in about having my name on it or having Daniel's not interested about having his name on it. We want it as a community, but we had to put two names ahead in the application. Do you know what I mean? So I filled in the application, and to actually something I learned is if you want to participate in a Guinness World Record and you want to be contacted back within the first week, it costs you £8,500.
You have to pay to get a response? Just
to get the response from them. So they said that for the application we made, obviously we haven't got the money, we haven't got the funds, but we want it can take at the very least 3 months. You think with COVID and what's going on, it could potentially take longer. So at the minute, that the only thing that's holding us back to what we want to achieve is you've been there, if somebody's been there and had a Guinness World Record. But it's we'll make it a success hopefully. But as soon as we get word from them, everything will start moving a lot faster.
Okay. What is if it's going to be there? If you're going to have it there, I think I may have touched on this earlier on. But if it's going to be out there, if you're going to print this and have it there for a couple of years, what's going to happen with it afterwards? Like, won't the materials used dictate whether or not it can be recycled? Because you want recycled PETG is what you're aiming at. And if it's possible to recycle it, won't that vary about what you can and can't use as an adhesive to join the parts together, or maybe you have to bolt the parts together, or something along those lines? What is the goal there in the long run? Because you're going to have people who are going to come out and say, well, we're printing all this, wasting all this plastic, and it's bad for the environment, you know you're going to have the environmental people out there. And since you are reusing recycled material, that's obviously they'll see it as a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I'm sure they would like to see it being able to be reused. So the companies that you're dealing with in the filament, have you started discussions with them about what you can and can't do to allow the materials to be reused later on, if it can be to be recycled?
That all falls down to the internal structure base.
Mm-hmm.
What we get response back on, because as soon as we get the confirmation of what internal structure we can use, or if we need to create an external structure to hold up the part, then we can go ahead and finalize the design. Because everybody loves Legos. Everybody loves Legos. I mean, we can easily make all the pieces look like Lego pieces and be putting a huge Lego person together what's 3D printed. You can do the bolt aspect that you have actually mentioned on, where you can actually create pilot holes and actually 3D print a whole bunch of screws and nuts and actually screw them all together with recycled PETG. There's been talks about having the internal structure have an internal vein structure and dumping a bunch of resin down it to where it actually fills in all the crevices and creaks and actually builds an internal structure. The carbon fiber poles, it's really kind of in the narrow path of, as soon as we get told, then we can actually further more onto the project. Right now, our goal is getting that model, which we have Luke working on right now, 100%. He's going in, he's remodeling and making sure that everything that does get printed out gets printed out with a nice high quality. Mm-hmm. We don't want no blob sitting there looking down at all these people. We want to see the definition in our eyes. We want to see the definitions in her cheek. We want to see the definitions in her, blouse and whatnot. So, that's what it really comes down to. Once we get word on how we can do the internal structure, we can go ahead and design how each part is going to fit individually together.
Cool. And just to keep Shane happy, we're going to say Guinness a few times. So before the stream is over, Shane is going to be on his ear. He's turning it into a drinking game. So, all right. So there's this whole project, and you'd like to try and get it done in 2021, early 2021 if possible. Yeah. If not, you're fine to push it out if need be. And obviously the criteria can change, and you don't reveal details until you hear back from Guinness, because you don't know the final size and so on. You want to know what other people have in there as an application. So how can other members who are here, who are interested, because you said you are limiting the number somewhat, but how can people reach out to you to show interest? And I already showed the GoFundMe if people want to donate money towards the project, right? To try and, because it's kind of going to cost a lot to ship these parts around the world. But what about, can people reach out to your Facebook if they want to go join your Facebook group and to try and show interest and express that they're interested in partaking?
So the week after Christmas, after we get done with all of our families and get done with all of the business that's going on with, the world, because I'm pretty sure that I'm probably going on a mild vacation to go visit my grandmother, what I haven't seen in probably around 7 years. We are going through the group. We are going to be removing those members what have took interest in us. And unfortunately, at this moment in time, it's not due to anything but just lack of, communication or something of that factor. We don't ask much. We just want to know how many printers you have. So when we send out the files, we get them to you with the proper amount. We don't want to max out your printer. We don't want to, send you 20 files when you only have one printer. That would be the worst thing possible. Mm-hmm. But we will be opening the group for about a week. And I will be allowing any person what is interested in this group to go ahead and join with no questions asked. Okay. We just ask moving forward that you just help out the community.
If and somebody what about like a more public-facing group?
Come again?
What about a more public-facing group to inform people about what's going on in your project? Not people who are participating, but people who just want to learn more about what you're doing, about what your plans are, how the project is going, and so on.
Right. That's already up. Yeah, that's already up. That would be Facebook at global3dprintproject.com.
Okay.
That one shows our members, shows what we've been printing on. Last thing we printed all together was a small model of the nurse's head. What had Global 3D Print Project. We had a few members do some time lapses, what came out beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't specify what you needed to print it with or anything. We just gave you the file and gave you the option to print it. A lot of them, we started sharing their posts. Some people got up to like 8,500 people, seeing the post. Again, we're all about trying to help you guys out. You want to get out there with your 3D printing stuff. You want to be known for the wonderful things that you've done. I got bad eyes. I can't read that one.
It's giving thumbs up to Ciaran for all the work he's doing in the community, in the local community.
Right.
And it's you need to 3D print a new clock, they're saying. So the gauntlet has been thrown down, Ciaran. You have to print a new clock. If anyone out there has any last questions, we have already gone over the hour. But if anyone has any questions for Ciaran or Daniel, please type them in chat now. We'll get them answered, and if not, we'll hang around for a few more minutes to see if there's any additional questions before we wrap up. So, but guys, I think this is a great idea. Not many people can say they can get into the Guinness Book of Records, right? For specific things, right? So it's going to be a cool project. Okay, Baker Viking is leaving. So if there's no other questions, then I think we can wrap up. So I think it's a great project. I like the idea that it's going to represent those who have done so much during the COVID pandemic, because there's been people have been putting their lives on the line in a lot of cases, and they're risking themselves every day. And even in general, people in the emergency services do so much for the community. I know it's their job, but still.
Oh, I don't know how to.
It's a calling, right? In the emergency service is not a job; it's a calling, something you go into and you dedicate yourself to, because it's something you have to deal with every day, and it's stressful, and they work crazy hours. And I think it's nice that we're actually going to represent these people. He's asking a question about the spelling of your last name, Daniel.
Spelling on my last name.
Your audio's gone again. It's Hubbard. It's double B, not BH.
Respect, Liam. It's important to pay respect to the people.
Yes.
On this in the last year, the stress, and there's some family members, there's some people who haven't seen their nurses and doctors, and that haven't seen their family in months, because they've been isolating. So it's important to pay respect to that. And I actually have a sister; she's a nurse, so it's been good to pay respect there too.
Yeah, it looks like we've just lost Daniel for some reason. Oh, he's coming back in. He came in for the wrap up.
Yeah.
All right. So this is great, guys. If you'd like to hold on there a moment, I'll be with you again. I just want to do a closeout, and I'll be back with you in a moment. Okay. Just one moment.
Cheers, night.
So, guys, thank you all for coming. I hope you found it interesting. It sounds like a cool project. Maybe get your name in the Guinness Book of Records if you want to partake in the project. Remember, they share the GoFundMe link. They do need funds, so share out the GoFundMe. I think it's a worthwhile project. And if you're interested in partaking or getting to know more, click on go to their group on Facebook, and if you're on Facebook, always remember, if you want to support this channel, or before you leave, first of all, click on your thumbs up and your likes and subscribes on Facebook. It actually helps a lot. And if you want to help support the channel, please, you can support through PayPal. You can find me easily there. Or if you just want to buy me a cup of coffee, you can go here and buy me a cup of coffee. It allows me to bring content to you. It allows me to keep maintaining this channel, and it helps me keep bringing new and better content to you. And if you have any suggestions about what you want, any content you want me to cover, please reach out to me. Let me know. I'm on Facebook. Put a comment in below if you don't have me on Facebook. Put a comment on Facebook or YouTube. I will respond to you. And if you have any suggestions, I'll be happy to hear your ideas. Well, thank you all. And remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay printing. Thank you and good night.